Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This video is a continuation of the part 1 series of Tableau tutorial with interview questions, and in this video we are going to look into how to create your first dashboard, and obviously we are going to see how to create your worksheets, your first visualization, and collate it together into dashboard, and also we'll be looking into how to create calculated field. So let's get started. This is our sheet. So just to recap, we already have the orders data set pulled in into data, and last time we discussed about the each menu that are within the Tableau platform or UI, and also we looked down into several commonly you asked interview questions. So for this part, I will be going over how to create your first data visualization calculated field. So before that, let me explain what are the different visualizations that we have. So currently, if you can see at my right end, there is a pane called Show Me. So here a lot of other, all the visualization are grayed out because we don't have any data pulled or in rows or columns or in filters or in marks card. So let me first have some of the data pulled. So let me pull category into column and have a measure called sales in rows. Okay, so you can see we have the categories in columns and the sales represented as row, the sales numbers. So we have furnitures around 742k and having 742k sales, and office supplies have around 719k, and technology have around 836k sales. Since we have some of the data pulled, we can see the right that there are few visualizations highlighted. So now we have the horizontal bars. So for horizontal, if you just pull your cursor into the one of any of these visualization, you'll see there is a section where it says what are the dimensions, how many dimensions you need to have this particular visualization to pop up. So for horizontal bar, we have around zero. We should have around 0 or more measures. And if you go for text, you can see for text tables you need to have one or more dimensions, one or more measures. And for heat maps you need one or more dimensions, one or more measures. And tree map, this is called the highlighted tables. This is a tool that helps us to identify what are the number of measures and how many measures and dimensions you need to pull to have as a relevant recommended chart. As you can see, this is first a visualization that we have created. Now to go into detail or drill down further, you can pull in the subcategories. So in the subcategories, you can see furnitures, office supplies and technology has been drilled down under several subcategories. For example, furniture we have around, we have bookcases, we have chairs, we have furnishings, we have tables, appliances, all of the things. So we can see individual sales coming from each subcategory as well. Now this is how you see for the bar plot, like horizontal bar plot. Now what if I pull another measure? So now we already have set sales. Now let's see the quantity of these appliances or quantity of this category, and we'll see how it is in. So now you can see that we have two rows here and dot. For that we can choose side by side bar graph. So if you just click on it, the Tableau itself rearranges the measures and dimensions according to building the visualization. We have the measures here and combined together as measure values in row shelf, and the column shelf is the same. It's not has been there is no change in the column shelf. So this is another way of having a different chart with the same similar measures and dimension. So we can now we can change it into a horizontal bar. This is not a horizontal bar, so let's change it to horizontal bar now, having two measures. So if you just click on the horizontal bar, it has automatically changed. So now you can see the measures are in the column. So that's why we have two columns and with two measures. And another fascinating visualization is used in Tableau as well as in Power BI is called the tree maps. So the first row you can see this is called the heat map, and the second row you can see this is called the tree map. So if you click on tree maps, you can see that each of these category and subcategories are highlighted in the color of sales. So if we can just hide the show me cart and see that if the more the sales, greater the sales or the higher the sales, the color of green or blue gets darker. So if you can see, technology has the highest sale and furniture chair has the highest sale. Technology, phone, the subcategory of phones. So but the quantity, that is the bigger the size is relevant to quantity. So you can see here the sum of quantity is given as the circular format, which says that the shapes are represented by the sum of quantity, and the colors are represented by the sum of sales. So in here we can see office appliance binder have the highest sales. We rewritten the name of the sheet as tree map. Now we'll let us pull another sheet and try to build another visualization with another measure and dimension. So we can now pull in the product names. So if it's more than 1,000, you get this warning sign. So it's better to always add all the members. Now you can see there are several product names. So I think it's better to have this as the filter. Click on select from list and make sure that everything is selected, and click on all and click apply and click on OK. Okay, now that we have the filter, we can now select region. Let us consider region and put it into the rows. So we have four regions: central, east, south and west. And now let's pull in the measure, any one of the measures. So let's pull in profit, and you can either drop it in columns or you can drop it in this ABC section where it's highlighted. So once you do that, it automatically goes here, which it goes under the marks card, and it's text. It's written as text. It's provided as text. So we can see here, Central has around 39k profit, East has around 91k profit, South has around 46k profit, and West has around 108 profit. Now let's drill down more by looking into the segment. So if you want to drill down in several dimensions, you have to pull into the similar one by one in a single cell. So now you can see we have three segments: consumer, corporate and home office, but split in across different regions. So now the numbers are more drilled down. Earlier it was 39k profit for central, but we can see 88k came from consumer, 18k came from corporate, and 12k came from home office. So this is a simple visualization wherein you have every profit relevant details across region and segment. Now you can drill down across different products. Now as you can see, we have a lot of different products, and all of these are checkbox. So you can basically change your profit, change your filter based on single value list, drop down slider, or multi value list, drop down custom list, or wildcard search, which based on the pattern of the search that you're giving. So let's go into drop down. So drop down, you can see we have a drop down now. I can just select any one of them and see how it restricted. So for 1.7 cubic foot compact, we have, these are the numbers. Simple text format. Now if you want to make it a bit more appealing to the users or the audience that you're presenting to, you can select on the highlight tables. So if you click on this highlight tables, it will automatically rearrange this the measures and dimensions. So here you can see we have the profit. The higher the profit, the darker the green blue color. So you can see West region has a higher profit in the consumer segment, and the lowest is coming from the home office from the South region. So this is how you wanted to create a visualization which is appealing. And another one thing that you can always change is you can change your color, guys. You don't have to stick to the automatic or default color that the Tableau needs to give, basically give. So if you, in case you want to change the color, you can click on this color and click on edit colors. So here it gives you the palette is selected automatic, so you can basically try to have a different various color options like blue, orange, green, and you can even have diverging colors. So let's give a diverging color of red, green, white diverging, and you can click on any step color. So if you have positive, 0, negative, you can click on 3 steps, or you want to have it like the reversed version. For example, if I click on the step color and reduce it to 3, you can see the lower the number, it goes to red, and the greater the number, it goes to green. But if you want to reverse it, it gives the exact reverse of what we have earlier. So this is how you can showcase in your projects that you are showcasing to your stakeholders, clients, or users. Click on apply and click on OK. So here you can see we have the highest selected in green and the lowest in red. So that's about it for the visualization. Now let us change the sheet name as Profit by Region and Segment. We can even change the sheet name here if this tree map doesn't give a proper name for the sheet name. So let's give, so you can name your sheet name sheets as per your preferences. You don't have to go by the similar name of the measures or dimension. Now let's open up a dashboard and create a first dashboard as well. So when you look into the dashboard, you will now see 2 sheets created. You can always start with pulling your desired visuals, and if you want to pull all the sheets, you can just pull in them. Just click and drag onto the to the sheet, to the middle pane. Similarly, you can I'll be pulling. Let's even pull the drag and drop the second sheet as well. So either you can have your sheet name as a title, but it is always advisable to hide your sheet name because sometimes you do not have the right sheet name. So you can hide the title always. So just right click and click on hide title. And you can see we have the sections that are on the mark card popping up in the right hand side. So you can pull it based on wherever you want to fit in your visualization. So here we have a product name only coming from sheet 2. So if you want to only apply one filter to particular sheet, please always make sure that you have the filter associated or placed close to the sheets that are that it works. So for example, if I click on any of these products, select any of these products, you can, for example, let's deselect all. You can see that the sheet at the bottom has completely vanished. So technically this cross filter will only work for the sheet that is at the bottom. So you have to always make sure that your filters are placed with respect to the data that are changing. So let's drag it down here so that we have the relevant the filter just beside our, and let me drag the sales in under the first visualization, first data. So now that we have the dashboard, I also would like to have a KPI place wherein we have the overall sales profit numbers along with a calculated field called cost. So let me open up a sheet and pull in the sales number, put it in the, drag it and place it in the middle pane. Similarly, you can have the profit. So click on profit, drag, drop on text. So you have your total sales as well as total profit. shown. So now we can open up. Now you can ask whether there is only something called, is there only one function called sum in Tableau? No. So you can always have different functions applied to measures. Like for example, if you want to have average of profit, let's click on the arrow mark highlighted here. If you click on the arrow mark, you can see measure sum. So if you just highlight over your cursor onto this section, you can see the sum is currently selected, and by default it is always sum. But if you want to change, find the average, median, count distinct, or find min max variance, etc., you can select the respective functions that you want. So now for this purpose, let's have average selected. So we have the average selected in decimal points. Now let us pull in the total profit as well. So the second thing, if you want to always have a similar same measure but in the different function, you have to again drag and drop into text. We have the total sales as total profit as well. Now let's create a calculated field. In order to create a calculated field, you have to go to analysis menu and click on create calculated field. So you have to name all your calculated field with the relevant title. So let's name it as cost. Cost is nothing but sales minus profit. So let's drag and drop sales and put it in the box minus profit. So here we have the calculation set, and here message here the calculation is valid. Now if the calculations is invalid, you will definitely have a message here marked in error and marked in red, and the error is explainable, so you can understand what is the error is all about. So let's click OK. Now we have the calculated measure field here, and let's drag and drop here into text, and thereby you can see your cost as well. So we have the cost present calculated here. Now this is a simple numbers, right? You have to hover it and see what is the average profit, cost, profit and sales. So let's click on this text tables. So if you just click on text tables, you have all the measure names popping up as well. So this is how you can easily have the measure names rather than doing everything, rather than having it manually represented. So this is one sheet which always helpful, guys, when you go to stakeholders. Stakeholders want to see numbers. So if you want to have numbers printed in a better professional way, text table is the way you go. And let's rename the sheet as KPI, KPIs. So which says a key performance indicator, and add it to our dashboard. So let's pull in and have it in the top section. So we have the KPIs. Let's hide the title for now because we have everything in place. Now if you've seen, everything is restricted to a smaller screen size, right? Now you can change the screens based on your preferences. So in the drop down, in the size section, in the left hand side, you can see that, and it says range. So range is specified by a minimum size and maximum size, but we can change it as per if you want to have a fixed size, if you want an automatic. So let's go into fixed size, and for the fixed size we have custom size, and for the custom size but if you go into the drop down, you can see there are several options. If you want PowerPoint size, you have its relevant size mentioned. So let's go into custom, and let's go for full screen. So we have the full screen here with around 1024 pixel width and 768 pixel of height. Now that we have a better screen space and size, we can always fit your visualization to the page. So if you want to, in order to fit the visualization, click on more options, that is the arrow mark presented. Click on fit, hover your cursor on fit and click on entire view. So now you can see the whole tabular column has fit within this particular frame. So let us do it for all the visualization. So now you can see the visualization is much better to view, and now let us add the title of the dashboard. So in order to title of the dashboard, go to the objects section in the left bottom and select text and drag and drop it at the top. So once you've released your cursor, you will get this edit text box where you can add in your text, the relevant text that you want. So have the let's have order analysis as your first as a title. Select the whole text and change the font size, and you can change the font text to any other better one, and change the color to a black color and have it bold. So now you can see it has pulled the other visualization down. So to rearrange, you can always drag the line accordingly to have the other visualization in place. So this is the first dashboard, guys, and let's rename this as order analysis. So rename the title, and that's about it. This is our first dashboard, first visualizations created, along with how we have created our calculated fee. So now let's dive into the interview questions. The first most commonly interview question is, what are the filters, and name the different filters in Tableau. So Tableau filters are basically a way of restricting the content of the data that may enter a Tableau workbook, dashboard or view. So if you might have seen in the tutorial that once you had the filter, it restricted the data values, and that's the main purpose of filter. And what are different types of Tableau filters are: extract filter, context filter, data source filters, filters on measures, filters on dimension, Tableau calculation filters. Another most commonly asked interview question is, what is a calculated field and how will you create one? A calculated field is used to create a new modified field from an existing data in the data source. Calculated field can be used in creating more visualization, and that basically doesn't affect the original data set. So the second question is, how will you create one calculated field? This might not be asked in typical interview question, but however, if you are attempting a take home project wherein you're building a dashboard and presenting it to your interviewer or the hiring manager, they might ask you, how did you build a calculated field on the spot. So if you already aware of it, that is well and good. If not, you have to know how to create a calculated field. You can look into the steps that I have done in terms of how to create a calculated field. The next most commonly asked interview question is, what is the difference between tree maps and heat maps? A heat map is used to compare categories using color and size. So in this video, you might have noticed the chart now displaying. A heat map is not only defined by color, but it also uses its size. Tree map is used to represent hierarchical data. The space in the view is divided into rectangles that are sized and ordered by a measure. So if you see this chart here, you can very well see how the tree map is. So the larger the size of the node, it represents the higher the quantity of the particular category. Another most commonly asked interview question is, what is blended axis? Blended axis is nothing but is used to blend two measures to share an axis when they have the same scale. So for example, sales over time and profit over time. Similar to this question, there is another variation. What is dual axis and what is the use of having a dual axis? So dual axis allows you to compare measures, and this is useful basically when you compare measures that have different scales. How to create one? You have to just right click on the second pill of the measure and select dual axis. That's when you have the first measure in its own axis, and the second measure it's another its own axis. Now there could be another question, what is the difference between dual axis and blended axis? The only difference is that I have already mentioned is that Blended axes use the same scale while a dual axis could have two different scale and two mark cards. So that is all guys for the tutorial. I hope this tutorial was useful. If you do like this video, please do like, share and subscribe and share it to those who you feel it would be helpful for them. And do let me know in the comment section if you want to hear anything else apart from what I'm showing. I'll catch you for the next video. Bye.